Okay, let's take a look at the mirror command. The mirror command is used to flip objects over an axis. We're going to zoom in, and I'm going to mirror this red box with the word mirror across this blue line. By selecting the objects and hitting enter, AutoCAD will prompt me to select the first point of the mirror line. I pick the point, and AutoCAD will mirror the text and the box across the line. You'll notice here it prompts me to erase the source. I'm going to type in yes, and you'll notice that it erased the source object. Now when you use the mirror command, there may be a time where you want the text to be reversed or actually backwards. AutoCAD has a system variable, mirrortext, that controls the flipping of text. I'm going to change that system variable from 0 to 1, which basically turns the variable on. Now when I start the mirror command again, anytime that there's text object selected, the text will appear to be backwards. Okay. I'm not going to erase the source, and you'll see that the text is backwards. There's a very few instances where you may need to use that, but it's nice to know that you have that system variable to control the flipping of text. Now when you mirror text or any other object, the mirror line does not have to be horizontal or vertical. It could actually be at an angle. Let me give you a couple of examples. I'm going to mirror this window and this sofa over to the opposite wall. Well, the mirror line would be the midpoint of this wall. So I could flip the text up, or flip the mirror line up, pick a point, and flip the window and the sofa over the mirror line. But let's say I wanted to mirror the text and the the sofa and the window up to the adjacent wall. So when I use the mirror command, select the two objects and go up to the corner, and if you set your mirror line at a 45-degree angle, AutoCAD will flip that over the 45 degrees. This simple process will eliminate 4 or 5 commands. If you did not have the mirror command, you would have to make a copy of the objects, you would have to rotate them, you'd have to measure the distances, and then move the objects to their correct location. So it's very easy to take and mirror these objects across the adjacent wall. I'm going to flip it across this wall, and you'll see that AutoCAD creates that mirror image for you. So take advantage of mirror as needed. In this section, we're going to look at the AutoCAD fillet command. A fillet is a rounded corner. So let's go up to the fillet command, and AutoCAD will prompt us for the to select the first object. We want to round these corners, but it says that our fillet is set to 0. So let's change the radius from 0 to 0.25, and then select the first object. I'm going to select this vertical object, and then you'll notice when I pick this object, you see a rubber band curve. This will give you a preview of what the curve will look like when you select it. So make sure you've got the right edge, and AutoCAD will round that corner. I want to repeat the command and select these 2 lines. Move over here to the side, and I'll select this line and this line. In this case, AutoCAD would extend and trim these objects so that the arc is applied tangent to both lines. So when you start the fillet command again, take a look at the command line again. It says current settings, mode equals trim. What that means is AutoCAD will trim or extend the objects to apply the fillet. In this case, it extended it. Over on this side, it trimmed it. So AutoCAD can be used to trim and extend these and also round them at the same time. You can also apply a corner. Once we select the first line, AutoCAD prompts us to select the second object or shift select to apply corner. So if I want to apply a 0 radius, I could just hold down my shift key and AutoCAD will basically apply a corner. Hold down the shift key, pick both edges, and it squares off the corner. So you have the option to go with a radius or just a 0 radius, or what I would refer to as a square corner. You can also apply a fillet between two circles. If you get a message that the radius is invalid, that just means the radius is too small. Up here we're going to create something that looks like a link on a chain. I'm going to apply my fillet to both sides of the circle. Then I'm going to go back and use my trim command and trim out this section here. So we can go in and create a link in a chain. The fillet command can also be used to apply fillet between a line and a circle. Let me select those again. Well, that's not working. Let's try that again. Fillet, radius. Let's increase the radius to 0.5 and see if that helps. There we go. So the radius was too small. You can apply a fillet between parallel objects. The spacing between the objects determines the radius. So I'm going to apply a fillet between these two objects and these two. The first object you select determines the length of the other objects. So if I pick this center object, AutoCAD will trim off the extra line. So I'm just doing parallel objects. And you can create something that looks like that. AutoCAD also has an option for filleting polylines. We have the polyline option, but before I use that, I'm going to reset my radius back to 0.25, and then I'm going to select polyline. By selecting this polyline, AutoCAD will round all 4 corners at the same time. This shape over here is also a polyline, so I'm going to select the polyline option, select the object, but one of the things I want to tell you about is even though it shows a preview on all the corners, there is one corner that does not work. So I'm going to select it, and you notice it didn't fillet that corner even though it gave me a preview. On your command line it says 6 lines were filleted and 1 was too short, and the problem is this line was not long enough to apply the fillet in both corners. Okay? And one last way to use a fillet is I can apply a fillet from a thick polyline to a standard line, and AutoCAD will create a taper as it rounds that corner. We'll discuss polylines a little more in Module 6.